In the 23-20 loss to the Bills, the Ravens had their template game plan that they'd love to do every week. They had over 160 yards rushing, better than 38 minutes time of possession, along with Lamar's 70-plus yards. They had Hill and Dobbins chip in as well for better than 86 yards. And they did it on a very straightforward downhill running attack. We're going to look at some clips. The plan seemed to be to go right at the Buffalo Bills. This first play you're going to see, this is a typical counter play. I love this formation with Ricard as the lead back and Andrews displaced, opening it up, yet it still has to account for the I formation. Really, it stretches the defense and their personnel as to whether they want to play the pass or the run. The offensive line does a great job of washing it down, as you typically do on the counter. 72 powers and Ricard. Powers pulls, Ricard leads with them, leads up in this counter action. I want you to notice the motion threat that does with this jet sweep, this look of the jet sweep to Duvernay. It really holds the backside that doesn't allow them then to collapse onto the counter. So again, we see this variation all the time, very well executed. Now, in the next play, this is a straight ISO play. And again, we're going to see variations of a theme. Again, the plan being to seem to go right down at the Bills defense. Andrews and Ricard build the left side. Then you're going to see on the left side, Billick, he blocks out and Andrews folds around. Now, he and Ricard create this super wall, this super wrecking ball that gets downhill. Again, very straightforward, very downhill. Great job by Powers and Linderbaum walling off the interior of the front. Powers actually accounting for the linebacker at the second level. Very straightforward, straight downhill, very well executed. Again, this is brilliant in its simplicity. Straight downhill, the offensive line splitting the defense, washing it down, Ricard leading up on the linebacker. Andrews and his alignment have widened the defense. And again, this is very tough on the Bills defense. I want you to watch the safety, number 3, Hamlin, on the weak side. He doesn't know whether to insert himself into the defense or account for the wide receiver in backing out. So they're taking advantage of a defense trying to decide how to build this box and doing it with a very straightforward downhill play. Now, the last drive really was brilliant. Obviously, at the end, it didn't come up the way that everybody wanted, but the 8-minute drive starting on their own 5-yard line, and again, with a number of the same elements in these plays that we've seen already earlier in the clips. First clip, this first play of the drive, really set the tone. Ricard, again, it's a variation. He ends up starting in a tight end alignment, but then he motions into this same displacement of Andrews, this kind of I alignment. And now you see what amounts to basically a super counter, because you're going to see, again, not many people pull the center. They pulled the center Linderbaum and the backside tackle Moses along with Ricard and create this super counter, this super edge. Hill does a great job of bouncing outside and working to the outside to get the extra yardage. Now, in the next play, again, variation on a theme. This displacement of the 2-by-1, okay, with Andrews displaced to the outside, Ricard building the I formation, getting downhill. They add the little wrinkle. You're going to see Lamar kind of pump to the left and a little, almost like a drop bait. But again, it's just a downhill ISO. Ricard and Andrews do a great job on the second level, plastering up with the second level defenders. Billick actually gets up into the backside as well, creating this wall down the field that allows the big gain down the field, the 12 yards by Hill. And then the last play we're going to look at, again, the exact same play. The only difference is they don't displace Andrews in the 2-by-1 set. They bring him down into a conventional tight end alignment. He's in the I alignment. Same job by the offensive line, collapsing down, Ricard leading up. The Bills actually do a good job. I mean, finally, near the end of the game, they had to realize we got to stop this ISO. They really do a good job with their front seven. They step up. They jam Ricard at the line of scrimmage. They build this picket fence we're always talking about that good defenses do that cut off the angles for the running back. But Hamlin, 3 on the backside, the safety comes a little too flat. So you can see Hill does a great job once he gets cut off, bouncing it back to the outside, getting around Hamlin and creating a good 14-yard gain. Just good ball running at this point that set up them, put them in a position, obviously, to where they could have scored and maybe put the game away. Unfortunately, Justice Hill pulled a hamstring on this play and is going to be gone for a couple weeks. That's a big loss for the Ravens. This multi-attack in the running game with Lamar, Dobbins, and Hill has proven to be very, very productive. You know, the Ravens step back into the division now against the Bengals this week, and the key is going to be putting pressure on Burrow. It's a reverse scale. The less pressure you put on Burrow, the more TDs and production they have. The more pressure, that's where the interceptions and the incompletions come from. So the last 2 weeks, Burrow haven't got a lot of pressure put on him. He's had 5 TDs or almost 630 yards in passing offense. So job one is going to be getting pressure on Joe Burrow.